everybody. Scott Golden here with the All-Star Wrestling Review Series for the 14th of um, the month of, let's see, June, March here in 1981, and this is the All-Star Wrestling Series. We open with Pat Patterson talking in great detail about his lack of willingness to give up on wrestling, lack of willingness to give up on the pursuit of getting even with Sergeant Slaughter after the last week's events, and obviously that is the Cobra Clutch thing that is already here in our series. So we move into 314.81, and so we kind of get a interesting run of, I guess you'd say, kind of events, but also moving towards. This is Moondogs with Captain Lou Alberto defeating Dominic DeNucci and Steve King, 7:55. Moondog King pinned Steve King with a splash. Pretty intense run there, and ultimately kind of leading you in the direction of the Moondogs getting ready to challenge for the Tag Team Championships more and more. Moondogs, of course, brawlers and really basic competitors, not anything that we haven't seen before. Punch kick, and obviously Captain Little Metal leading them down to the ring. They stall as long as they can, kind of get in the ring. DeNucci has been a regular combatant for them over the last several months with various partners. Choke out by Rex and King as often as possible. Captain Lou Albano trying to get in the face of the referee, doesn't get what he wants. Moondogs come in to do double teaming. Dominic DeNucci does stand a brawl with them quite a bit. DeNucci pairing off with them, and I don't know, the match going nearly 8 minutes isn't necessary. Obviously, King taking the fall is more about wanting to preserve the history of DeNucci. However, DeNucci also stands and does forearms and brawling with the Moondogs, which I think gives them credibility. At one point, one of the Moondogs has the stomach claw and then a series of axe handles on DeNucci, and eventually, again, that splash victory gets them the win. Albano still continuing post-match to have difficulty in handling the wonder that is everything related to the process there of handling the Moondogs. Anyway, the Black Demon up next. Don Rock Morocco alongside the Grand Wizard. Don Morocco dealing with the Black Demon, wearing the mask and the, I don't know if I'd say, really basic stuff there. Side shots, and ultimately Morocco managing an elbow on the top of the head, and ultimately and kind of, coming around and going for a brawl, as it were. And at the end of the day, we see Morocco trying to bring his man back in. Elbows to the top of the head. The demon ends up falling to the Adriatic spike. And again, more interviews with the tag team champions. Pat Patterson with a little bit of an awkward interview style here. Continuing to push the issue with the Moondogs, but also asking if the champions ever get tired. I don't really understand the idea of asking that with babyface champions. Doesn't really make a whole heck of a lot of sense. But then we go into post that we see a Pedro Morales with the Intercontinental Championship match here. And again, Morales defeating Johnny Rodz 136 with a sunset flip. Maybe a couple of punches, arm drags, and then the sunset flip. Don't even know why you bother getting a guy dressed and ready, especially in a championship match, for a match that goes less than 2 minutes. Never did understand the concept of those really short matches unless you have, for example, a really heavy, powerful guy, like a guy you're trying to get over with squash victories. But anyway, Rick McGraw and the tag team champions, Garea and Martel, defeating Ron Shaw, Hangman, and Baron Michael Clune 832 when McGraw pins Shaw with a suplex. Back to pushing McGraw. I wouldn't say necessarily heavily, but that going forward is also kind of bizarre in the sense that McGraw had been treated well in the beginning of his run and then kind of fell off, having more difficulty than average with adversaries. And it doesn't really go all that well. The tag team champions still not having main level challengers. 6-man tag just to fill television time. Still a problem all the way back 40 years ago, so it must have been a problem in wrestling to fill television time even when you had an hour show, which I don't understand the concept of. Garea managing, to wrestle around and hold on to Greco-Roman knuckle locks and side headlocks and the like. Basic stuff, nothing terrible to write home about, but at the same time, managing to get a couple of shots over the shoulder and around the chin. Baron Mikel Cicluna managing to get things going in the right direction there. And Rick Martel managing to continue with things, tagging in, showing a little bit of fire. Doesn't get everything he wants, but manages to get some. And then we see several hard shots along the way there. And then, the champions do cut the ring off, but the match goes probably longer than it should. Hangman manages to continue to brawl. They haven't really figured out if they're completely pushing the Hangman yet, but the suplex from Rick McGraw gets the victory. Pat Patterson continues to talk about wanting to get further even with Sergeant Slaughter at the announce desk. And we move to the final match in the program. Killer Khan facing off against one of his, I guess, more common adversaries in, let's see here, Killer Khan defeating Angelo Gomez, 336 jumping knee drop, punch kick, chops to the midsection and top of the shoulders and trapezius area. Vince McMahon also talks about post-match after the knee drop win for the adversary that, or for Killer Khan, that in fact Andre the Giant and Rick McGraw would face Baron Mikel Cicluna and Johnny Ross the following week. So that's pretty impressive because Andre isn't around as much on television, certainly in the WWF, as one may like if they're a major Andre fan. We'll be back with more right after this.